global entrepreneurs everywhere. Today, we're talking about business plans because the topic is, how do I really get business funding? Well, without a business plan, it's extremely difficult. So, Syreeta McDaniel here, your international small business strategist and any other type of business strategist. As you guys know, I'm from a family of entrepreneurs. I've been running McDaniel Consulting Global Business Solutions for Entrepreneurs since 2001. That's a long time. And it's exciting. And so the crux of the business is strategic business plan writing. Can you imagine when I left my position as a senior international consultant with Ernst & Young, what my family said when I said, I'm going to write business plans? 14 of my family members and friends came to see what is going on. But 2 decades later, I'm still writing business plans, okay? So today we're discussing strategic business plans and why you need it, okay? I'm going to look at my notes here and I'm going to look at my notes here. So be patient with me as I switch my eyes from here to here, okay? Strategic business plans are primarily needed to get funding, but that's not the only reason. And I'm going to discuss a few clients because sometimes privacy, confidentiality is another reason why I still have a company. I don't name drop and I don't tell people's business. But because of that, I'm not going to put 1,000 reviews online. No. But that's why we're all new audiences and we're all meeting. But I'm going to give industries, the ages of the clients, how much they wanted and what the result was. Because the question is, how do I really get funding? I have a dream. Okay. We want to support your dream with collateral. Hold on. How do I really get funding? Your banker said you need a business plan. Because they said, great, you want a business loan? They have the option of the Small Business Administration, SBA, backed loan. The bank can also give you a loan. So if you already have an established relationship with the bank that you have been at already before you started your business, give it a try. Contact them. See, hey, can I get a line of credit? You do not need a business plan for a line of credit. Depending on your credit, your FICO score, depending on how much you earned in any job you had before you requested, you can get up to $5,000, $25,000, depending on how much you already earned, up to $100,000 without a business plan. But when you decide that you want to buy a business, buy commercial property for your business, you need working capital, you prefer to pay reasonable interest rates, this is when your business plan is needed. My first degree was business law from Temple University. That was my undergraduate. I am not a lawyer. I am an international MBA because Temple University had a program. I studied in Paris, France. I worked in Donetsk, Ukraine. It's on the website, the long story of that. Okay? So my actual degree is international MBA, not MBA, and I studied 3 courses. I studied overseas. I worked overseas. I studied. It was an arduous process. Okay? By joining Ernst & Young and working as an international tax and compensation consultant, that's what led to the move. And then I started my business here. Okay? It's on the internet. It's on one of my websites. Okay? So when it comes to small business funding, My question when I started the business is I want to work with entrepreneurs. What do entrepreneurs need? They need a loan. I'm not a paper pusher. I never will be. But I said they need to present themselves in writing. So when you have a dream, support your dream in writing. The next part, collateral. There is a workbook that I have, how to really get small business funding. But collateral, if someone is able to walk into their bank and get a business line of credit on a signature for $100,000, how much did that person make before they did that? Did they have a household income of up to $500,000? Because if it's a person that worked in corporate America, they made a few $100,000. They have a spouse that makes up to $150,000 or so. So they have a $500,000 household income. And then if they have reasonable debt, things like that. Reasonable meaning whatever the bank requires, okay? Debt to equity ratio, that person can get it. But what if a person worked a job, they're single, and they made $150,000, and now they have a dream and a vision to start a business? Well, the first question a banker is going to ask is, do you have savings? Do you have collateral? Sometimes they define collateral as the cash that you have saved up. Now, what if you have a retirement fund? Can you use your retirement fund to start your business? You need to contact them first. There are some instances, if you want to buy a primary residential home, you can use some part of your retirement income, and they have ways that you could pay it back without penalties. To start a business, you need to really look at that. But Syreeta, I just want the answer. Well, we're just meeting. I can't give you that answer, and I'm not a financial advisor. You need to discuss that with the group that your retirement fund is with and your accountant, preferably a licensed by a state certified public accountant. And then you need to do your own research. You need to do research, and then when you're speaking with your professional consultant, they are confirming what you've researched. You can't these financial decisions, you can't just leave up to anybody. Okay. So typically, if a person is a single adult and they have a savings of $25,000 to $100,000, how much can they get in a loan? That's a question that you have. So if you're just starting, how are you going to get a loan? Yes, the first step is a business plan, but before you invest in a business plan, you need to kind of have an idea, okay? So I'm going to share these groups here. I have a client who's in construction, because McDaniel Consulting, we have worked with each of the 20 major industries. That includes manufacturing, construction, mining, healthcare, recreation, sports, entertainment, beauty, you name it, we have worked with that industry. That's the beauty of having over 75,000 hours, 75,000 hours of small business consulting. And there's a beautiful man, he said, if you have over 10,000 hours, you're an expert. If you have 75,000, what are you? 10,000 hours in one topic, you're an expert. Okay. So this person, let me finish. Construction, HVAC, okay? And they had a household income of up to $500,000 because he was in business for a few years before he applied for what I'm about to share with you. Okay, he was 35. he was married. So his spouse handled a lot of things, and he put his focus on the business. And he had a small crew, small, 2 to 4 people. Okay. So he wanted to get certified, SBA 8A certification. That deals with the federal government, and that deals with an opportunity to get federal level contracts. Now, what would an HVAC need with federal contracts? Well, guess what? They have federal hospitals. Do hospitals need heating, ventilation, and air conditioning? I was going to prepare the number of how much opportunity dollar-wise that he had after getting his certification, but I didn't write it down. So just, if you're a construction person, contact me. So it took 150 hours for me to write his business plan. 150. That is a long time. And he was approved for his SBA 8A. Now, why did it take so long? Because when I look at an entrepreneur, I'm looking at who he is, what his goals are, what does he have the capacity to do? Does he have the capacity to grow? In his case, I said, you need to give me 30 people who are subcontractors on your team, along those lines. You can't tell me that you're a 4-person company and you want to handle such a millions in federal contracting. So that's where I help the client to walk through every single step of thinking it through. Okay. Next client. This person is 45 years old. He had a corporate job. He earned over $300,000 in his corporate job, but he had his corporate job for over 20 years. Okay. So, he didn't just wake up and say, oh, no, he was seasoned. Okay. But whatever happened with the company, was it right size, left size, corporate downsize, whatever happened, he already had a business on the side for all the years that he was in corporate America. He was married. His spouse had a full-time job. The spouse made a lot of money. He's an example of somebody that was able to sign up to $100,000 in a line of credit, but he needed more money for his business expansion. He got approved. His business plan took 160 hours. Don't worry. I asked myself, hey, what's happening here? Why are you taking so long? If you're going into youth sports, if you look at those statistics, it's not that attractive. So you have to say, okay, but wait a minute. What part of sports? How are you sports? What are you doing different than others? It took some time to really flush through all of that. And he's a client referral. So I'll just give you his phone number. You can call him and talk to him for yourself. Find out why. Okay, next person. They're an American person, but they were part of a group that had a trade mission to West Africa. His business plan took 90 hours, and he was in waste management, and he wanted a contract with the government over in the nation that he went to in West Africa. And the minimum, this says 20 million that he wanted for his plan. Now, why did his only take 90 hours? That client has been my client since 2005, and every 18 months we do a new project. So I didn't have to ask him as many questions about his psyche, why he wanted to go. He's already experienced. Okay, so 90 hours on him. Now, this is business plan writing. How long it takes to write. Now, you can contact any organization. Ask them, well, how long does it take you to write a business plan? Or you may not care. You may only care about the price. And so you don't care how long they take. But when it's a certain price, as business plan strategic experts, we know how long it took. And when we look at it, we know the difference between what they wrote and what we wrote. But hey, if you get your funding, it doesn't matter. The goal is the results. What do you want? Do you want a business coach who's going to talk to you and ask you so many questions and really highlight industry statistics and share options. And okay, that's one. If you just want, oh, I just want a business plan. Okay, well, they have that too. This is America, honey. And all over the world, from wherever you're watching, they have strategic business plan writers in your area. And they will write it for you however you need to. I have a lot of comparable companies in India and the Philippines. They can write it for you. If you want me to write it for you, it's going to take time. All right. Next person. Manufacturing company. This was a woman-owned business, had a vision. It took 200 hours. 200 hours. But guess what? They wanted investors. And they were already experienced. I would not have written a business plan for the person unless they were already experienced in getting funding from investors. And they were, because they worked with 4 companies over these past 15 years. And each company started off small and then it grew and they went public. So this person was already experienced in that. Okay. But they had a vision, they had a big vision, and the vision, it was multifaceted. Manufacturing, that's the baseline, but it was multifaceted. Okay, that person took 200 hours, and that business plan was $15,000. Syreeta, why would someone pay you $15,000? Because I know what I'm doing, and my clients trust me to be diligent with the research. Now, anybody can say anything they want about themselves. Oh, I mean, okay. Another business plan. This was an energy company, a solar farm. These people, they were in America, but they originally came from a Latin American company. So how did they find you? Previous client. Previous client was in construction. And you guys have heard me mention construction. My dad was in construction. So when I start off the business, another tip for why I'm still in business, construction. Do you guys realize that the construction industry is $3 trillion? If someone is working in an industry, they're more serious than what it looks like. I know when we get all these degrees and we're focused on white collar industries and businesses, sometimes we forget about the blue collar industries, sometimes. But those people make a lot of money. And they hire professionals like you and I because they're busy managing crews, they're busy growing their companies, and they need experts who have their backs. Okay. So that company, that project was 90 hours. Okay. A beauty business, it was actually owned by a man. He was in business for over 20 years. He grew it from 100,000 and the last count was $1 million. Now it took him 15 to 20 years to get to $1 million. And guess what he added? Aside from just the hair services, he added salon suites, he added products, he was an industry instructor, he was known for selling the most of this certain beauty product. So it wasn't just hair, nails, he added these things, okay? But he already had an established relationship with his banker. This particular person was from the Middle East. Syreeta, how'd you meet that person? I meet a lot of people. I actually met his business consultant at Starbucks, minding my own business. Okay, so it's all about relationships, building relationships, whether I'm doing it with you, who I've never met, or other people that I've never met. They get to see me in person, but building relationships, just being myself. Okay, a grocer. Okay, this project, it took me 140 hours, but prior to meeting me, they spent 2 years and 3 other consultants. And they were doing business in an urban area. They needed $2 million. They got it. So it took some time. But they were a family. And so there were basically 6 people involved. They had personal net worth already. They were established. They had solid reputations. Okay. So it's not, you're not going to say, oh, I want a business and get $2 million. You're not. Okay. And then a chicken farm. In preparation for this video, I was thinking about it. I've done a few chicken farms and a few chicken farm technology. Chicken farm technology. My goodness. Who would think of it? And y'all know I'm from Philadelphia. Originally, I live completely across the country now, but I didn't know anything about the farm. My dad is from South Carolina. We would visit family, but I didn't know about the farming business. Okay. So each industry, I teach myself. That's what makes it so exciting. It makes it exciting for me anyway. And so that was just a quick overview of business plans, why you need a business plan, how much time it really takes to write a business plan. Yes, you can write a business plan in 40 hours. Yes, you can write a business plan in 20 hours. But when you're asking for higher dollars, when you're asking for federal government contracts, when you're asking for investor dollars, when you want to even understand your own business, when you want to share the vision with your family, if they're investing in your business, I had to write a business plan for my own business to present to my family when I first started. They didn't just give me money because you're who? No, that's not real life. Okay, maybe in some families. So one of the testimonies that I have of a client, he wrote something so sweet. He said, the one phone call close is not the norm. He said, but when I met Syreeta, I closed. And guess what he told me? He's gotten 3 business plans over all these years. He said, Syreeta, every time we've done a business plan, I've always gotten the funding. I'm like, really? He said, yeah. The first one, it was 2 commas. The second one, 2 commas. The third one was $500,000. So that's really sweet. So it's just exciting. I just wanted to share those nuggets about a business plan. How much does a business plan cost? How much time does it take? What type of consultant do you want to work with? Work with a consultant that you trust. Work with a consultant that has a proven record of trust. And ask for references. They'll give it to you. So like in my case, I never send you a business plan to the client. I have you call the client, and the client can send you any part of the business plan that they want because it's their business vision. I don't just have a blanket business plan that I send and say, oh, have a look. No. I could be a little, hold it too tight, but it's okay. It's okay. I thank you guys. Syreeta McDaniel, McDaniel Consulting, GB.